Hey everyone, this is graphic designer Roberto Blake, and in today's video, I'm going to talk about diversity in graphic design and how it affects whether you get a job. So one of my subscribers actually asked me if, as a graphic designer, if being a minority has impeded or affected my ability to get design work. And the short answer is no, not for me personally. See, graphic design is one of those few industries where it actually really does only matter about the work in your portfolio and your overall personality. As a whole, statistics show that the graphic design industry could be a lot more diverse. Only about 20% of graphic designers in the United States identify as an ethnic minority, and a lot of those are immigrant workers. But overall, the field does have a lot of diverse personalities, and I don't think that being a minority directly impedes your ability to succeed or gain notoriety as a graphic designer. Now, with that said, there is somewhat of a diversity problem in graphic design as far as an industry or in the creative services industry in general, but not in the way that people think or not in the way that people assume. The real barrier to becoming a graphic designer with regard to ethnic minorities has more to do with social economic status than anything else, because it's really expensive to become a graphic designer. A lot of people don't realize that. So let me run down a quick breakdown of some costs that you'll have investing into yourself as a graphic designer. If you want to have a viable computer that's not a Mac as a graphic designer, you're still looking at about maybe between $500 and $1,000 for something really solid in terms of either a desktop or laptop. So if you're going to have both, that's already $1,000 that you're in the hole. If you're going to get a perpetual license of Adobe CS6, if you're only getting Design Suite Premium, then you're looking at between $1,300 and $1,500 right there. If you're going to do Creative Cloud, it's going to be $600 for the whole year. Then you have the cost of internet, which averages out to about another $600 for the whole year. A smartphone plan, which averages out to about $720 for the whole year. Maybe about $60 to $100 for your website, for your portfolio, unless you're doing something free like Behance. Office supplies, printing out your portfolio, doing actual client work, having stock images, vector assets. The list just goes on and on and on in terms of the actual expenses that you have to be in this profession and in this career, even if you're just starting out. Even if you try to lowball it, it's still going to be a significant investment of money, and that means that you have to actually have disposable income. So if you're coming from a financially challenged background of any kind, and a lot of ethnic minorities comparatively do, statistically anyway, then that might be an actual barrier as to why there are less ethnic minorities who are graphic designers, because their parents aren't going to necessarily encourage them to pursue something in design or creative services or arts. They're going to say, oh, there's no money in that, go be a doctor, go be a lawyer, go be a banker, whatever, instead of, oh, go do websites for a living, or, oh, go do print work or illustration and everything like that. No, people from that background are not going to necessarily be encouraged to pursue their creative passion and to do their dreams, which is why a lot of them end up doing that later in life. If you want to become a photographer, you already know that even if you go on the low end, that it's very hard and seasonal to make money as a photographer. But already, if you're talking about just a DSLR camera body, if you want something at the entry level, it's still going to be difficult to, make money doing that competitively. You're still looking at $500 just for the camera, not including the laptop, SD cards, real lenses, things like that. Most professional photographers invest anywhere from $5,000 to $10,000 just in their camera gear directly in terms of bodies and lenses. That's not even getting into lights, flashes, strobes, all these other things. So again, any creative field that you want to go into, theoretically, is going to be extraordinarily expensive, and that's not even accounting for education. To get the best graphic design education that money can buy, you have to, take out an extraordinary amount of money to go to something like Full Sail or the Art Institute, and the benefit of that is those kind of schools actually have the network connections that are going to get you better job placement and higher paying jobs, and they have the notoriety and branding behind them. So, that's not quite the same thing as going to like Harvard or Yale for business, but it's kind of up there in terms of a brand name education. So these are some of the barriers as to why there aren't as many minority graphic designers in the United States, and so on and so forth. But the thing is, there are things that are happening that are going to change that. Ultimately, Creative Cloud is something that's relatively new and is making it more affordable for people to learn on the professional software so that they're not necessarily trying to get by and compete on something like GIMP or Inkscape. Not that there's anything wrong with that. Computers are becoming relatively more affordable. You can technically get by doing graphic design on a $350 laptop today. So again, it's not impossible to succeed if you're economically challenged or a minority as a graphic designer. There might just be more barriers to it. There might not be, just depending on what your personal situation is. As for me, I've just been very fortunate in the fact that I'm been clever in the way that I approach handling things with my finances, that I've invested in this over a number of years, and that I really put the time to develop my portfolio and build up my personal brand. Personal branding played more of a role in my success, and marketing myself and self-promotion, that played more of a role in my success probably than anything else. So that would be my advice, is not to think that you can't succeed because of your background or your finances or your education. Just do amazing work and put it out there as often as possible and take every opportunity to connect and build good relationships, and that's what's going to help you succeed as a graphic designer. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to share this video with people if you think that they'd be interested in it. Like this video if you like it, subscribe, and as always, you guys, thanks for watching.